That's my
But
basis
it's
there. But
just
all I'm
like
saying is
there's
it's just,
two different things. I felt like
what the do you want me to say?
that it's two different things. It's two different types of scales that you have to like.
Hello everyone.
One day.
We're the Kanye crew. I'm Win.
I'm Will.
And today we're gonna be talking about the Suicide Squad.
Yes, Suicide Squad, but
This
not
time it's James Gunn.
the 2016.
Yeah, it's a
You wanna know something funny?
what?
A little behind the curtain to our lives. You know who I saw the first Suicide Squad with?
Oh boy. You told me stories about that. How
Yeah.
your dad and mom was just flirting. Anyways,
Yeah,
we're not
that's
gonna
weird.
name drop. I'm just gonna
Yeah, that's
bleep
weird.
those out.
That's weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, Suicide Squad, directed by James Gunn, written by James Gunn, with an outstanding cast, so tons of stars. Margot Robbie, Idris Elba, John Cena,
I was gonna go through that, but yeah.
Sylvester Stallone,
Keep
Nathan
going, keep
Fillion.
going, keep going.
Oh God.
Rick Flag, what's his name? Go.
Oh, no clue. Joel Kinnaman, Sean Gunn, Michael Rooker, Viola Davis, Flula Borg, Pete Davidson, bunch
These
of
are
people.
Cast. They
Yes.
weren't. Some of them didn't last very long. We're not gonna
Yes,
say who, but still.
a lot of people died.
Yeah, in creative ways too. I like.
Yeah. So this is, I don't know if it's
It's a loose sequel.
a loose sequel. Is that what we're gonna call it?
That's what James Gunn was
Okay.
saying. Sort
I-
of. He
I
was
would-
like, yeah, I'm just going on the foundation, what's already built, and
Yeah.
he's just continuing with it.
So
So
yeah.
it's his
So
own thing.
reviewing this movie, and then we'll talk about it since we're somewhat it's pretty big comic book fans. We'll talk about the movie itself, the plot, and all that. But it's pretty good. It's funny.
Yeah.
I think Win may not have liked it as much as I have. I did.
not, probably. Not.
So, but like as the residential DC fan,
Yep.
this is it feels like a win after a long time.
I guess so. Yeah.
I mean, Snyder Cut was a huge win for just, I guess, like the community.
I want to say this Snyder community. Yeah.
Yeah, for more this feels like maybe a right step in the direction for a DC universe, but it's still like, I don't know. It's a win because it's a good movie and it works.
It's a James Gunn movie. It's not a good movie.
Yes, it is.
It's not.
It's a good movie.
Okay, subjectively, yes, it was enjoyable and fun. I will
Yeah.
say it was fun.
Well, that's
But
all I wanted.
Objectively, it wasn't a good movie.
Sure, it was.
It wasn't.
I think so. It was a James Gunn movie. It was good.
Just because it's James Gunn doesn't mean it's a good movie. I mean, look at
No,
look at the what are his brothers? The one that made the Avengers and stuff. You could say that the Avengers movies are fun, but they're not good. So I'm just saying.
So I was thinking about it. I kind of agree, I guess. I'm not going to say it's like a perfect movie. Like, I'll say entertainment wise, it's a 10 out of 10. It was awesome. I loved it. But I was thinking about how I always said that Endgame was like one of the best comic book movies ever as a comic book movie, not like a movie.
It was an event. It's considered an event. This is what I consider it as.
So this is like it's up there. It's well, it's okay. So that's an event, sure, but take that away and just like comic book stuff is what I'm talking about. Just strictly like
Yeah, but you said it was a good movie.
this. I know I think it's a good movie, but I'm taking away like that and everything as of it just as a comic book movie. I understand the hype that was being said, like this is the best comic book movie ever made, because it's the villain is Starro, which is, I guess, kind of a spoiler, but it was in a lot of promotional stuff, so I'm not going to say it was. Every time Starro was on screen, I would just smile. I'm like, this is awesome. We are getting Starro as like a villain. I would never in a million years, especially how Warner Bros. Has taken the Suicide Squad stuff, would never in a million years thought I'd see Starro on the big screen, especially how it looked, and it was just awesome. So
I've said this before. It doesn't matter that what I think of it. All I'm gonna say is it's just a fun movie. I'm not gonna say
it's fun.
It's not a good movie or anything. So
I think
that's all I got.
I think it was a good movie.
What made it very good?
The comedy.
I have to ask now.
The comedy was stellar.
It didn't. There was hit or miss.
No, it was
was a lot of
good.
hit or
When
miss.
you are cynical and
I know. All I'm saying is that some jokes didn't work for me. There was a lot of jokes that was just
there's
kind
always
of like,
jokes that don't work for you though.
because there's always movies that make comedy that have jokes that just don't land. Some of them just
For
don't land.
you.
It doesn't mean that all of the comedy movies have landed jokes. I mean, even Nice Guys, which is probably one of my favorite comedy movies, their jokes didn't even land all that much in a bunch of ways. So all I'm saying is, not every single time, or not even a James Gunn movie is gonna have a landed joke. That's all I'm saying. I don't care what you.
It's gonna get heated.
The thing is, like, I don't. Yeah, okay, comedy is subjective, but objectively,
Sure,
jokes, comedies, and movies have to continue with a story, not just stop the movie and then continue. It just that's what
but I
this
didn't.
some of this movies did. This is what this movie did. It just
I
stopped
didn't feel
and it
like it
just
was
went
a
on.
hard stop though. I'm trying to think of a movie that we watched recently. I think it was a Disney movie that did that, where it was like, or Mortal Kombat would be one, like insert reference, hard stop. And this, it's a little different because it's references in comedy, but it's funny. It's a funny movie, when.
I never said it wasn't. All I'm saying is some of the jokes didn't land. I'm
Okay,
not saying it's
for
a perfect comedy
you.
movie.
Neither am I.
Again, I just told you, comedy is subjective. You can find it funny. All I'm saying is, in the whole movie, or in movies in general, comedy movies can be good comedy movies if their comedy continued, or if their jokes continued. They just didn't
Yeah.
stop. Like,
Okay.
I think the best part of this whole movie was that it just held us saying, like, "Oh yeah, that's your mom." It's Starro,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought that was great because it just continued the movie. It didn't stop it. It didn't, like, oh, stop the movie. Let's make a pun, like
I
Jungle Cruise.
Well, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I didn't feel like there was stop. Let me make a pun. I thought this movie did the quick comedy. Like, the only one on the tip of my tongue was hardly a stop, and they just kept going after it was said. But the tidy whities, that's racist comment. I was
That's
like,
still stopping the movie.
but it's funny, and they just kept going. It's
I
not.
know it's funny, but I told you it's subjective and objective. That's what That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to convey to you.
And I hear you.
But you're not understanding what I'm saying.
No, but I am. But I'm saying.
But you're not.
No, but I'm saying from my point of view, it was funny.
Again, subjective, objective. That's what I mean.
But I'm saying the jokes didn't feel like they stopped the movie for me. And that's what I'm trying to, like, just review it. I didn't feel like the jokes stopped the movie. I didn't feel like it took me out of the movie. I thought it was very funny. I thought it was very James Gunn. It worked. It was good. The characters he did. Moving on from the stupid comedy.
No, you said I asked what made it good. You said comedy. Okay, that's subjective. Objectively, what is it? Why is it good?
It's a bunch of just ragtag characters that they take.
No. You have to talk about plot.
Can I get there?
Story,
Can I get there? Can I get there?
You gotta talk about, like,
Can I get there?
character development, all that stuff.
Exactly. I was gonna get there. Bunch of ragtag characters. Bunch of these characters, probably even some of the hardcore DC fans, like Snyder fans, probably didn't know a lot of these characters. But the ones that didn't die in the end, everyone gets their moment, and I feel like it was done well. I feel like King Shark, who is a idiot little shark god, still had his moment and had a character development for what he could. As like Friends was his thing, but like Bloodsport had his moment, Peacemaker had his moment, Rick Flag, Ratcatcher, everyone had their moment, and it didn't feel too hard stop. There's one in particular that did, which was the Ratcatcher one, but I felt like that was really pushed in there, while the other ones didn't make the movie continue or roll. But it added some depth, to two characters there, so it accomplished something. But I feel like everyone had their moment. Everyone had good character development for the ones that stayed alive, and even the like stupid characters that did die I felt like it was fun to just see them die. But plot wise, sure, if you want to get technical, it's not like an incredible plot.
I just said I was just asking objectively, why is it good?
Because it's just we're point A to point B. They do what there's good twist in there. It's point A to point B. They knew what they were going to do. So like they have their task force set up to go to Jotunheim or whatever to Project Starfish, and it's point A to point B, and it just goes.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's every movie.
No, it's not.
Point A to point B. You just said that.
Well, not
That's every movie.
Not every movie. But well, okay, so it was done well then to point A to point B. I didn't feel like we lulled in any like point of the movie. I felt like it just flowed. It worked. It was good.
I think I should just say very quickly, I don't give a shit about this movie.
That's
It's a
fine.
comic book movie. I'm not gonna go into it why it's bad.
Yes,
At this
but you
point, I
should.
just
It's a
don't-
review.
I'm not gonna go into it because it's just it's a dumb comic book movie.
It's not done.
It fits in with
awesome.
every other comic book movie. It's a genre of their own. It's not meant to be taken seriously. I'm not gonna take it seriously. That's why I'm not gonna take it like this review. I'm not gonna take it seriously. It's just
How
honestly the
unprofessional.
only reason why. How unprofessional! You're being very one sided.
One-sided. What do you need? I gave.
Well, all the thing
I
I'm
gave-
asking is like you're not even telling me why it wouldn't be why it doesn't work or stuff like that. All I'm saying
Why
is
it doesn't work? The stop. Do you need like stopping points? Stopping points. The rat catcher scene where we talk about her dad. I felt like that was a big stop in the movie that was unnecessary. The Harley Quinn getting captured to become like a bride. I felt like that was a big stop in the movie and wasn't really necessary, or could have been done some other way, or it just took too much time. The whole, but there's like scenes where you could feel that way, but like them just killing all those people in that camp that turned out to be good. Like you could feel that way of it was just, but it kind of gave some resilience in like the against the antagonist, but it was also funny because these are villains and it shows like they don't also really care. So I don't understand. If you don't want to take
no, all I'm saying is I'm not gonna take this seriously because one, I know what everyone's gonna say. It's a dumb comic book movie. When you shouldn't read too much into it, you shouldn't care all that much for all that other shit. So that's what I'm gonna do. All I'm gonna say is this movie was a fun movie. I'm not gonna say if it was good or bad. Well, I guess it just did. It's a movie. It's a comic book movie. It's made for It's made to make money. It's made by big budget execs. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. It's made by a big studio. It's a dumb comic book movie, just like every other comic book movie. That's all I'm saying. That's it. I gotta be honest with you. It's a genre of their own. It's not like I don't know A24 films. I'm not saying that. That's my
but
basis
it's
there.
just
But all
like
I'm saying is
there's
it's just,
two different things. I felt like
what the do you want me to say?
that it's two different things. It's two different type of scales that you have to like.
That's what I'm saying.
But so you're saying I'm not gonna review it because it's a different scale.
I just did. I just reviewed it. I just said it was a fun comic book movie. I'm not gonna say much into it. It's
Okay.
a fun comic book movie. If you want to go watch it in the theaters. I think that part's worth it. If you want to wait for it, or if you want to watch it on HBO Max, that's fine. But I would recommend going to a movie theater because it's a lot more fun to watch. You get people's reaction. Everyone else seems to have fun, so I say yeah, go for it. This is a somewhat good movie to watch. That's it. That's all I'm gonna say. If you want me to go into it,
I would, because that's how we make content.
okay. Overall, the reason why I didn't like this movie is because I just didn't care about the characters. I
Fair
had
enough.
no reason for me to care about I can't remember his name. It's just
Like
Elba's character. I don't
Bloodsport.
care about Harley Quinn. Rick Flag, I don't really care because I never really liked him in the first place. I think he was supposed to be the only human character, but everyone else seems to be somewhat vulnerable and then invincible at times that they needed to be invincible. The villain was kind of Starro was cool. I like seeing him. He was a freaking. I thought the Thinker was gonna have a bigger role in this movie. I thought he was gonna be fighting them or some shit like that. Again, Starro was cool, but there's nothing to connect there. I have nothing to be based off of when it comes to a giant monster creature. That's what I mean by it's just a fun movie. It's just a fun comic book movie. Everyone else, I don't really care about. King Shark, I don't really feel bad about because it's King Shark. What I don't know how to feel bad
cute.
about that. Ratcatcher, sure, she's cool. I think it was very, what do you call that? It was very slippery with her story. I didn't really care much about how sad she felt about her dad or whatever.
I would agree.
Everyone else, John Cena was kind of goofy. Again, the part of me that says fun comic book movie, that's just it. But if as a character for John Cena, sure, why not? He's yeah. Don't know who else was in there. I don't remember everyone else. That's it.
Polka Dot Man.
He was all right. I thought the gag with him about his mom was good. That's about it. That's the comedy part that I liked about it. Margot Robbie performance great. Idris Elba great. Margot Robbie had this 15 second or maybe even up to a minute fight scene. I thought that was cool. That's what I liked about Birds of Prey because it was all practical. She was just kicking ass, and you know what? Anytime when Harley Quinn's fighting, I thought that was really cool. That's it. It's a dumb comic book movie. I'm gonna get a free pass, and that's it.
Thank you.
Fuck you.
Well, I'm just confused
Because you told me.
you could have just said that. In the first
of all, you were like, well, Win, it's just it's just fun movie. You just gotta see it as that. So I'm seeing it as that.
Okay.
That's what I said, and then I went to objectives of about the movie,
But
and you said, well,
so,
what do you want me to say?
And the thing is, when I think we agree completely. The negatives we have about the movie are.
But you never pointed them out.
Yes, I did.
Barely.
Okay, so the parts that like lulled with the characters, we agree on that. Like Ratcatcher, well, we don't really care about her dad. Like, cool. It was great to see Taika Waititi in there. Great, but like we don't really care about her dad and like making. I mean, it accomplished of connecting her and Bloodsport and making these characters that we hadn't met before have somewhat depth. The villain, we thought Thinker might have more to do with it, but in the end it was like, Thinker's bad because he experimented on people. Starro, big guy who just wants his city, but it's just Starro, so you can't really, I don't know, do much. It's kind of weird. But like we both have a problem with that. I agree. We have the same issues. We just felt different about the movie.
That's what I mean by this. The whole comic book genre is just subjective at this point. No one really gives a shit about objectivities. Okay, I get it. 3-act structure is go fuck yourself when it comes to comic book movies, but it can be good. It's just, it is what it is. It's just subjectively, it's whoever likes it and whoever don't.
What about Joker? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Go watch our Anti-Heroes podcast.
I don't even remember how much we have in there. I had to cut it down for time.
Probably.
Yeah.
But okay, so we agree when we just feel differently about the comic book genre.
No, we just feel differently about the movie.
No, but we don't. We have the same pros. We have the same pros and cons, though. Okay. Is the thing.
Well,
from the beginning, you feel more strongly about them than I do.
Well, the thing is,
like the pros up here, the cons are like I just don't care that much. But the pros are probably a little similar to mine, but the cons are weighing it down.
Well, I was telling you earlier, like objectively, why is it good? And the reason why I don't think it's good objectively is because the story doesn't follow a single person. Therefore, it's going to be convoluted. There's a lot of people that you have to take care of in this movie, and there's a lot of people that you have to really kind of feel bad about. And I don't feel bad for any of them whatsoever.
I would agree, but you're also kind of not supposed to. They're villains. So like you can kind of get away with it.
That's a thing.
I understand it. Like it's your protagonist, and you're supposed to.
No. You can feel bad about a villain. Look at Loki. He's a good villain.
He's an anti-hero now.
I don't care. He's a villain.
He was.
He's a villain before the whole Loki show.
Yes. Okay. But he was.
You kind of care about him because one, he's just.
But that's just
trying to do certain thing. He's trying to be loved by his dad or whatever. He wants to conquer fucking whatever that place is called. I don't remember it anymore. But overall, you like the guy because one, he has a personality. Two, you feel bad and you can relate. Three, he's Tom Hiddleston. But these characters,
but I feel like
I don't have any reason why I should like them or feel bad for him. But the thing is, like, just just because they're villains, that doesn't mean you shouldn't feel
No,
bad for them.
I agree.
It's just empty when you watch these characters, and that's not what a character should be like. A character shouldn't be like, well, I don't really care if she dies, or I'm not gonna cry
I
if Idris Elba
cared.
dies. Sure, but like overall, their personality is great. I just don't have anything to
I was ready
gravitate
for.
to.
I was just ready for everybody to die. I really was.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, and I agree, but also I think what they did with these new characters that are also just not known characters, like they did a good job. The performances were great.
Okay, so you said earlier villains, they kind of get a pass. Regardless of what they are, I don't think they should get a pass if you don't.
No,
care on them.
I would.
Because the thing is, like, again, empty. You know, like
I'm working both sides of that. Like, yes, like they could get a pass, but they also don't, because it is a movie and like you're supposed to have a protagonist that you either feel good about or just like, am I supposed to feel good about him? But this wasn't either of that. So it's like King Shark's character he's just cute, I guess, for a shark he's Sylvester Stallone. Like Bloodsport, okay, like family or whatever. Harley Quinn is.
I feel like this should count.
Harley
it's more friends and family.
Harley Quinn is Margot Robbie, so that's why her character gets what it gets. Everybody loved, like, that's whenever the first one came out, the Harley Quinn costume was literally everywhere for Halloween. But like Bloodsport, family, like I said, Ratcatcher also family, and that's how they kind of connect their two characters. Polka Dot Man, mommy issues. I can connect with that one.
Fair enough, but you don't have interdimensional viruses going through your body, though.
You're right. And then Peacemaker is like kind of that still villain. I don't know. I felt like they were trying a little. There's a little too hard to set up his show. I feel like James Gunn gave him a little extra love, like comedy wise, and like not even he didn't have any development at all. I mean, kind of. But like I felt like they were pushing a little too hard to give him like the funny stuff or like the cool stuff.
Fun little fact about John Cena's role in general. It was supposed to be Drax, what's his name?
Dave Bautista.
Yeah, it's supposed to be Dave Bautista, but he got busy with
and he wants to be Bane.
He wants to be that one, and also he was in Zack Snyder's movie.
Yeah.
So he couldn't be on this movie.
When we agree how we feel about this movie, it's just
I'm just not strongly.
I feel more strongly about the pros, while you feel more strongly about the con.
No.
Well, yes.
No, I've kind of like made my mind last night. I watched it a second time. I kind of made up my mind last night that I don't really give a shit. Like it's just, it's the same for. This is my mind when it comes to comic book movies. It's the same as ever. Like everything. I can say Iron Man was good, but that doesn't mean that I completely liked it or anything like that. That's just an example.
Iron Man's the exception.
Yeah, I know.
But
what I'm saying,
Iron Man 2. We'll say Iron Man.
Yeah. What I'm saying is like, yeah, I can say that all these movies are fun.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just comic book movies, so I shouldn't look much into them unless you're Suicide Squad, the first one. Then that one I would definitely say I would probably strongly feel angry about when people say it's a great movie.
We both would, but this I'm biased because I know I'm not supposed to be biased, but DC boy over here, and it's like it's a win for just DC, and I like James Gunn. The Guardians 2 is kind of.
I guess I should have said beforehand that that
it's
great that James Gunn, he got the creative
like freedom stuff.
to do this movie. I'm always up for that. I love James Gunn's imagination for this movie. I think this is what, not Guardians, but I think this is what an R-rating movie.
Yeah, I mean,
comic book that he imagined would be like.
Yeah, I think it was just good. Like it honestly felt like some of his earlier stuff before Guardians, goddamn. Before Guardians, and I could really feel the like taste of it, I guess.
He's good at doing these movies when it comes to a bunch of characters that
the ensemble type cast.
you just don't know about, or
Yeah, gosh, I hope they give him a second one to do just more stupid. So, because just the characters, like I knew the only one I didn't know about, at least in the main ones that stayed alive, was Ratcatcher. I'd never heard of Ratcatcher before, but like Polka Dot Man, King Shark, Peacemaker, and Bloodsport, and Harley Quinn, of course, had all heard of them, and it's just cool to see them. I like Polka Dot Man especially, like never in a million years. Polka Dot Man and Starro, like character wise, seeing them on screen, I'm like hard DC fanboy.
Yeah, this is what DC should have started with, in a way, where they just started with like
And on that
characters
note,
that we don't know.
just like
Critically, it was bad.
what, the characters or the
No, critically.
So I'll just tease ahead, just talking about what they should have started with. In a couple of weeks, we'll be doing a Continuity Crew podcast about just
DC
rewriting
yeah.
the DC universe, since it's a bit of a failure.
It's Warner Brothers fucked it up.
Yup. So we're gonna write our own.
Yeah.
Enough with the review stuff. Just it's so funny and violent, and
I love the creative violence in this movie.
Yes.
I admittedly, I wasn't expecting any of that shit. Because, like, all I heard was, oh, it's R-rated. Oh, okay. It must be, like, a soft Warner Brothers thing.
no,
Where it's like, they'll probably show a few blood and stuff like that and shots and all that shit. But no.
it is.
They have severed arm, severed head, sliced up brain.
It takes full advantage of that R. It is
Yeah.
a hard R for sure.
If I had to think how James Gunn went through this, he probably started with, okay, so it's going to be hard R. And then Warner Brothers was like, okay, good start. Now go make the movie. He didn't even continue. He was just like, oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
like, we got to change somehow.
Yeah.
So.
Did you know he was offered Superman? James
Mhm.
Gunn.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that until last night. I watched a bunch of interviews.
Oh, gosh.
I'm somewhat invested in this movie, okay?
You should be. It's cool. It is cool that a ragtag, nobody know type characters, and James Gunn made a good movie.
Focus is somewhere else, so I can't really focus on this movie that much.
Whatever.
I only prepared for this. Honestly.
Whatever. This guy.
I wanted to know if James
This
Gunn was serious
guy.
about the creative thing. I thought it was just like, it was
I think
because
he's-
of the reputation for Warner Brothers.
It
being
seems like
an
he's
asshole.
invested in all this. I
I
mean,
guess.
he's holding out for some. His next investment he wants to push for is like a Peacemaker season 2. So obviously, he made a whole first season. So obviously, he likes it enough to continue. So
I'm surprised that John Cena agreed to a show.
it is interesting.
It doesn't seem
I
like
just
a John
think
Cena thing.
that's one of the biggest things. Even though Peacemaker didn't have much development, I guess his character. I guess they're again saving it for the show and pushing his character for the show. But this is the first role. Like I'm like, okay, I can actually see John Cena being this character, or he was acting, because like Bumblebee, awful, man. I just hated.
Oh, shit, he was in that.
What I'm
He
trying
was
to.
in that. I
Yeah,
forgot. Yeah.
I'm trying to think what.
Oh, something I wasn't expecting about this movie: John Cena's ass getting kicked. Because I'm pretty sure he's also one of those actors that have a written contract that says he cannot be down.
So I was thinking about
his
that
back.
too. About but so spoiler alert, he dies, but he doesn't die. So that could be something. But also, I was thinking, I wonder if Sylvester Stallone has that in his as King Shark.
Yeah, no, maybe. I don't
Like
know.
Trainwreck, wasn't he? Yeah, he practically just played himself. Like, so, but yes, I feel like this is the first role that John Cena has actually like come into his own and is actually acting as a character and doing well. Otherwise, other than being just like, I'm John Cena and I am acting.
Yeah.
This
Fair.
one is like, I am Peacemaker. Like
Let me show you my bulge.
yes. So
He's dedicated.
yes. But what else?
It did feel very.
Did you like Starro?
eh.
I mean, you said you kind of.
he was kind of.
As
It was
a
cool,
villain,
I guess.
it was cool. No, and I'll agree. It was cool, but the villain was weak because we didn't know who was the villain. I mean, we did, but like there wasn't a focus on a villain.
At least we weren't chasing them around. That's the thing about this movie is that when the villains, you don't really see the villain until the very end, and the thinker kind of doesn't count in a
Well,
way.
that's the thing. Like, it went from like the Corta Maltese people
Yeah.
being the bad guys, then to the thinker,
Yeah.
and I think it kind of comes with the genre of them all being villains,
Yeah.
and it's kind of weird to pick a villain, I guess, but kind of
I'm just glad they didn't chase him around like, oh, we're gonna go here,
We're gonna go.
there.
We gotta go to Starro. It was all like on Corta Maltese.
We gotta go to Vormir. We gotta go to the giant head. We gotta go to Thanos. So at least
It was in one set location, and I think that instead of going everywhere, it would benefit that because it is a bunch of characters. Let's not worry about setting. Let's worry about these characters.
And this movie wasn't scared to do anything at
No.
all. I mean, they even showed Dick. They showed Bird getting deaded, getting fired.
Yeah.
They showed people. What do you call that? Politicians get shot, get wrecked.
So they had like this thing in the IMAX showing. It was like a fantasy draft, and you picked who survived.
Yeah.
And my picks were just awful. I think I only had 2 survive.
I should have done that because all my picks were John Cena, Rat Dude, not the
Weasel.
Weasel, yeah. Bloodsport and Harley Quinn. Oh, that was my pick.
Yeah. Honestly, I thought Harley was gonna die.
Oh, okay.
I honestly thought they all were gonna die. Just how the movie was going, I'm like, everybody's gonna die in this movie. But honestly, so I didn't give a about Rick Flag either.
Yeah,
I didn't either. But then when he died, I was like, oh man, what? No.
Yeah,
I was like, come on.
I mean, he died an honorable death.
I honestly think I thought he was one of the ones that was safe, at least.
Yeah.
Like Harley was definitely up there, and then it would have been like Rick Flag. Everyone else expendable.
Yeah, that's true. And also Starro, just to go back to the villains thing, he was also it was also kind of confusing because like, yeah, it was bulletproof skin, but the eyes weren't. And then like before that, there was military people shooting at him, and
but
nothing
it was a special
happened.
javelin, man.
I guess so. Yeah, that's the part too. Like, what is that javelin?
I don't know.
Is it like ancient? Like
I think that I don't know Javelin's character too well. I know him just because his costume's cool.
I would like to assume that it's like one of the Amazonian weapons.
I could see that.
It's like an ancient weapon or something.
But,
it's magical.
We're going long.
It can kill Superman.
Yeah. I think we were both expecting a cameo from Superman or somebody.
Yeah, we did.
Because like
Starro is such a big character.
But then it's like, they did what they did with like Yondu and Hela before Thanos shows up. They kill them, and as soon as Pokemon Man does some damage, they just kill him.
Yeah.
So,
while we're at the whole Guardians thing, cameo.
Yeah,
we're wrong.
What?
Tom Hardy wasn't in it. I checked, and Josh Brolin wasn't in it.
That was totally them.
It wasn't.
I
double checked one. I went to social media. Nothing mentioned, and I checked their profiles, like their faces.
Okay, they weren't on. It's totally them.
No, their faces were off, and Josh Brolin's face was off.
The Tom Hardy one, I was questioning. But what about Mahershala Ali?
You never mentioned Mahershala Ali.
I meant to. But
I don't think it was in it because there was only literally one secret cameo that they showed.
I know it was Mantis.
Clementif.
I think it was them.
It wasn't.
He says it wasn't, but I bet I'm right.
James Gunn never said anything about 2 others.
Why would he? They're just side characters.
Because he already told about Paul. The Mantis wasn't even like.
I know. Whatever you say, Stone Cold.
Just look at it. Just watch it.
I will later, and I'll talk about it later. It probably isn't, but I thought it was.
It sounds like Josh Brolin, but looks nothing like Josh Brolin.
It looks like Josh Brolin. Also,
barely.
Very good looking movie.
Sure. No, you know what? Yeah, I'll say that. Because it never took me out when the CGI was there. A lot of it was apparently practical. Like the part where there's water and they were in the building and stuff. That was practical. James Gunn's nuts. He wants to kill his actors. And apparently Margot Robbie did the stunts too.
I believe it. She was all about that in Birds of Prey.
Yeah, I bet. Because
God, also, I can't believe they killed Captain Boomerang.
I love that they killed Captain Boomerang.
I'm not.
I hated him in the first one. He
I
was so
just-
pointless of a character.
He was pointless, but also I was just wanted to see him against the Flash. Is it like that's it?
Fair enough.
But anyways, let's wrap it up. Out of 10, Win, what do you give the Suicide Squad?
Overall, or do you want to do critically and
Yes, critically and entertainment, as we do.
critically?
Let me get my notepad.
Overall, critically, it's a 4.
Wow. You're a madman.
I felt bad for that chick that asked us, like, what do you guys think about the movie? Because I didn't think she was talking to us. I really didn't. I thought she was talking to the person next to her because she went over and she...
Yeah,
Whatever.
she's excited.
Enjoyment rating, I give it a 7.
Solid. So, critically, 7.5. What we've already talked about it. When enjoyment rating, a 10. DC fanboy for life.
I'm not even like that with Marvel, and people call me Marvel fanboy.
Well, somebody's got to be the Marvel one. Somebody's got to be the DC one.
I don't want to be. I want to be both. I
we
like
are
these both properties.
We both are both, but we both have to pick sides.
I don't want to pick sides.
Too bad.
This is the reason why the DC stuff gets sucky, because everyone's always like, why don't you just follow Marvel? I don't care. I just
see, but they didn't follow Marvel here, so
they kind of did. They have James Gunn. What the do you mean?
He got fired.
So?
Oh, whatever. I'm done.
They still got James Gunn.
It's not like like James Gunn make a Marvel movie, because this isn't a Marvel movie. It's a comic book movie, sure, but it's not a Marvel movie.
No, well, you were like, hey, you know what? You were kind of like, it's what is it? They're not following Marvel this time, but they literally just got James Gunn, who created probably one of the better Marvel movies, Guardians of the Galaxy. And they tried to replicate it back in 2016. So, talks like a duck, looks like a duck, looks like a duck. This is what this is.
It's a duck. Whatever you want.
They really tried to make a Marvel movie. That's all I'm saying.
No, they didn't.
Yeah. I mean, okay. I'm gonna put a tally. Cute, dumb-looking thing. Who's on the DC side?
Weasel.
King Shark. And who's on the Marvel side? Groot. Okay. Main character that you kind of feel bad about because he's got family problems. Who's on the DC side?
Bloodsport and Star-Lord. Go ahead.
There you go.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Female badass. Who's on the other side?
They're all villains. No. Disagree. No.
Female badass. Female badass who can kick ass. There we go.
The Harley Quinn.
There we go. And who's on the other side?
Are we?
Gamora.
Do we want?
Big dumb muscular dude.
Do we want?
On the outside. Who's on the outside?
Peacemaker and Drax. What do you want from me?
There we go. Wait, rat related thing.
What?
Rat related thing. Raccoon.
No.
Trash panda. It's like a rat.
Weasel, rat, whatever. No, you could do that with a ton of ensemble movies.
No.
Yes, I can't think of any, but Ocean's 13.
Dumb giant creature. Go on Ocean's 13.
I haven't watched it forever.
Exactly.
No, just because he followed similar characters. No, disagree. Moving
I'm
on.
not saying it's a Marvel film. All I'm saying is when you said that they're not trying to do Marvel films this time,
they're not.
They literally got a Marvel guy to do it. That's
because he was fired.
So what does that have to do with anything?
He wasn't going to work with Marvel, and they offered a comic book movie that he had free control over. It looks like, so he did it.
What? That's not my point.
Whatever. I'm wrapping it up. I don't care.
Do Marvel movie, DC movie.
No.
DC wanted to do Marvel somewhat movie, and they did it.
They wanted to do a James Gunn movie. If you're gonna compare the two, they wanted to do a James Gunn movie, not a Marvel movie. Whatever. Thank y'all for watching. We've been the Continuity Crew. I'm Will.
I mean, do you really think they would hire Joe and Anthony Russo?
Do I think they would? I don't know. Maybe
they would. They would definitely.
I don't think they would do it.
No, they wouldn't. No, they probably will. They talked about how Zack Snyder, they like Zack Snyder stuff. So
I still don't think that'll ever happen for some reason. That's just me. Anyways, we've been the Continuity Crew. What a divisive episode, the Big Feature Film Podcast. Thank y'all for watching. I'm Will.
I'm right.
Whatever. A lot of people would disagree with you, just like me.
I just said that it was a fun movie. That's all I said.
That's when.
That's
Thank y'all for
that's
watching.
all you can get from me.
Like if you enjoyed. Comment down below who is your favorite character. Subscribe if you want to see more like this. Thank y'all for watching. I already said that. We love movies. We love y'all. We'll see y'all on the next
I
one.
wonder if we're ever going to get a fourth.